Fear to fresh. Transmission starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah. I'm inspired. I'm inspired.
Quick announcement, guys. Writing Reality is coming up on October 1st, and the early bird special is running out on the 16th of September. So you only have a few more days if you want to get that discount. So definitely check this out. It's going to be 3 days of live training, group coaching, and it's going to be absolutely phenomenal. It's going to transform your life and get you to step into the character that you've always been wanting to be in this world. Absolutely a steal, guys. So get on it and shoot me a message if you're interested. What's happening, guys? My name is Sumedh Chatterjee from the Flow Zone Academy, and I'm a flow state coach, which means that I help you feel better and perform better. Today I'm talking about how to go from anxiety to confidence, how to go from fear to fresh. Okay, so basically I just want to mention a few techniques that I've used to get myself to transmute certain situations where I feel a lot of fear coming up, bubbling up, to appearing confident, feeling confident, and being confident. Okay, so the first technique is to transmute your anxiety into something else. You see, anxiety a lot of the times is this excessive energy, this extraneous energy that goes up to the mind, to the head. And so you might feel a little bit closed up in your head, like congested type of feeling, sinus, right, issues, just a feeling of like brain fogginess, all this kind of stuff, right? It all just shoots up into the head and you start to feel that fear. Actually, the face is the first place that actually notices a threat, and it shows fear. So if you're walking around like this all the time, or you're clenching your facial muscles all the time, it's telling the rest of your body that I'm in danger, that there is some fear going on. So the first thing to do is relax your face. Relax your face and then transmute that energy that you're getting into something extraneous. A lot of people, back in the day I'm saying, is just a while back, where they're using fidget spinners or these fidget toys, right? I'll give you an example of something way cooler that I use. I use rings that spin. Okay, so this is not a character flaw, it's a character quirk now, in a sense. So if I'm just, spinning both of these rings, it's kind of accepted, in a sense. Oh, he's just spinning his ring. It's just smooth, right? He's just kind of doing his thing. It looks cooler than you fiddling with a pencil or something like that when you're like trying to answer some multiple choice questions or something like this, right? The second step is to have an intention of an emotion in your mind's eye. Now, this is the emoji technique that I've perfected. So have an example of an emoji in your mind's eye. Don't do anything, but just hold it there. Just hold that emoji as you're speaking. So it could be like the little smirk, that emoji. I'm sure you guys have seen that one. Whatever emotion that you want to portray, right? Just hold it there. And you'll notice eventually your face starting to morph into this, but it will be a subtle shift. It won't be a very overt, in your face, blunt force move. It will be more subliminal, but it will still impact people around you, okay? So that's the emoji technique. The next thing is the self-talk. The self-talk isn't, I hope that they like me. Try and switch that self-talk into, what do I like about them? I'm interested and curious to know about them. So go from a me focus to a other focus. Once you go from a self-consciousness to other consciousness, your fear is going to immediately dial down because you're not focused on all the things that are going on with you. You're focused on all the things that are going on with them. So Stephen Covey calls this technique like to not be interesting, but to be interested. That's the way to be interesting. Right? We think it's the other way around. We're trying to be interesting. No, we have to first be interested in the person that we're talking to. Top up your looks as well. The other day I got my hair trimmed, you could say, styled, cleaned up, looking fresh, right? So if you notice, sides of my hair, right? It's blending into my beard. Now, when I tie my hair back, it looks a lot more cleaner, right? It's a cleaner look. It's a much cleaner look. It's a much healthier look because it shows that you actually care about your image, that you care about how you're representing yourself into the world. So doing these little look top-ups, like getting a haircut or, getting some fresh new clothes. Like the other day I got a massage, right? All these different things, they really help you to top up on your self-care. And then take some days off where you just focus on your freshness, right? Don't buy the shoe that's just on the rack. If you have a pair of sneakers that you really, really want, save up for that, man. Save up for that. Like, keep pushing yourself, because you're amplifying your character by buying those sneakers, right? You're gonna be a different person. When you buy new clothes, you feel like a different person. When you get your hair different, you feel like a different person, and you start behaving like a different person. Maybe if you're a girl, you just get your nails done and things like this, right? It's really, really important to go from that energy that's like just staying there stagnant to doing something with that energy, and it's a very powerful way to deal with that. So it's like this grooming mentality of just like, hey, I'm an animal, I've got to stay sharp, I've got to be presentable, and so in that sense I'm coming across differently because I'm behaving differently. Another thing is like practicing not seeking approval, but instead saying what's on your mind and saying your most genuine response to their questions. Don't answer the question in the stereotypical way of like small talk, right? Oh, how are you? Oh, I'm doing fine. How are you? Oh, the weather's quite nice. Oh, yeah, it's great. Right? This small talk, it just gets you into this fake mirage, right? It actually creates more distance, right? Politeness in conversation creates distance with people. It doesn't create closeness like we think, right? Small talk can be used if the vibe is right. Yeah, you can do it with a certain stranger. However, imagine going up to a certain stranger and just being like, hey, I don't care what people think of me. Like, I'm just me. I'm fully me, nobody else. And I'm here to respond genuinely from my heart and my pure beingness, right? And the honesty is gonna just pull through. Like, hey, someone asks you, where you from? Why are you asking me? Right? It's just like, it's not the expected answer, but hey, that's a genuine response that I have. It's like, why are you curious about that? It's really about coming back to your own comfort, right? And being comfortable in that moment. And whatever you need in that moment to be comfortable, you want to lean into that rather than trying to appease or trying to get them to like you. But if you stop giving a shit and you actually just, you're just yourself, you allow yourself to be and exist and coexist with others, oftentimes that energy, it's all an energy, right? It's an energetic thing, because if you are so focused on a particular end goal, you're attached to it. And attachment comes from the frequency of fear, whereas connection comes from the frequency of love. So it's the frequency that you're coming from, right? So someone could ask me a question, I'm coming from a frequency of fear. Well, how can I transmute that fear into love? Understand that fear is an illusion, right? False evidence appearing real. I understand that it's an illusion. It's not really meant to be that way. I'm coming back to what is beautiful about this. What do I love about this moment? How can I get myself to love the unknown rather than push it away and be afraid of it? Thinking, I don't know, and that's a problem too. I don't know, and I love that. You want to expose the thought that is fearful right in that moment. So let's say, I'll give you guys an example, right? Let's say you're reading a book, Power of the Subconscious Mind, Dr. Joseph Murphy, right? So let's say you're reading this book, but you're doing it in front of everybody. You're reading it in front of everybody, and let's say your hand starts shaking. And you're reading, right? Cease believing in the false beliefs of opinions to superstitions, right? If you just keep reading and try to ignore the fact that your hand is shaking, it'll keep shaking. If you just kind of pointed out, that's so funny, my hand is shaking. I can't believe I'm so nervous right now. That's so funny. All right, so where was I? It stops. Suddenly it stops, because why? You pointed it out into the ether, into the etheric field. You've said, this is what it is. I'm nervous right now. Even if you're talking to someone, you go, hey, I'm really nervous to talk to you. Or you go, oh man, I'm so intimidated. You kind of have this like cold look on your face, but I totally know that's not true. Maybe you're just tired, right? They go, no, I'm not mean, I'm not rude, right? Then they change their vibe up. It's like, yo, you have to have this ability of like going into your internal world and pulling out like, what am I actually thinking about right in this moment, right? And pulling it through, obviously not being like a word vomiter, right? Don't just like take out your feelings and just say like endlessly start spewing your heart to somebody. Like that's kind of creepy in a sense, because it's like, hey, you haven't even built that rapport yet. However, at the same time, it's like, it's such a cool vibe to just be able to just own yourself, right? Just own who you are and own your abilities of just doing that, right? Like, let's say that, hey, something makes you feel awkward. It's like, this is getting awkward, right? That transforms way more than you ignoring it and trying to be cool and then putting on this show and mask and be like, let me just barrage through this. Oh, don't react that way. See, the thing is, you're gonna have to do this in the beginning. These are like training wheels. Eventually, once you get that self-esteem kicked in, you're not even gonna feel the certain sense of that pull to be able to say those things. But if you're the type of person who's used to keeping their feelings inside and like not saying it, then you want to start saying it. It's like whatever your blocks are, your blind spots are, your personal blocks are, you want to work on those areas, right? You don't just want to focus on, hey, this is already what I'm good at, right? Those things are going to come naturally, and those things are things that you want to amplify. You want to focus on your strengths and what you're good at. But you, at the same time, you want to notice the glitches in the matrix, and you want to focus on those as well. All right. I hope you found value in this video today. If you have any more questions, you can always shoot me a message. Let's get it. One-to-one coaching. I'm going to transform your life. You already know. Scripps is signing out. Have an incredible day. May the flow be with you and stay legendary. Let's get it today. Boom.